mostly want to improve in your decision making because you're sometimes unsure about the right plays to make, such unaware of some factors when trying to make a play happen. Play the game, there's a lot of constant action. Definitely could have played better and had a lot of open questions all throughout the game. Okay, yeah, I mean, you can just like stop me and ask questions whenever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay, that's nice. Yeah, I was really debating what replay I should use because I
yeah,
feel like my replays are either where I get completely stomped or I'm just kind of winning.
yeah.
I felt like this game I had to do a lot of decisions. I wasn't really sure.
Okay. The first like question I guess I would have is like maybe your runes. So I think that Cosmic is pretty good with Ignite, so like that sort of makes sense. But I think that a lot of the time on Irelia, you like really need to snowball early, and so having like more power for early game is pretty good. Like I think you'll see most Aurelias, at least top lane, run Resolve because like
Yeah.
one like real nice thing about Aurelia is that you kind of get to choose when you trade, right? Like you can dash onto them. So people will use bone plating aggressively. They'll like try trade when bone plating is up because it makes it really hard to trade back against. Um, so that could be something you think about, but it's probably not like the end of the world.
Yeah, I feel like bone plating just kind of with Irelia, you against melees, you often just kind of trade with queuing onto a minion and then auto attacking them and queuing away. So,
Yeah,
and if they get an auto attack off, they just trigger your bone plating, and in that case, second wind would be better. But yeah, like
I think
I'm
in
not really
like
sure.
top lane
I feel like
especially,
inspiration. Yeah,
because like in
I've
top lane
just
you can
recently
like
started
chase them, you
trying out
know.
top lane. Yeah,
Because like
yeah,
yeah,
that
I
makes
agree. Like
sense.
if you play this mid, it's kind of hard to really chase someone. But I think here, like you can definitely look to queue onto people. So okay, now I think your goal in the early game as Aurelia is like you pretty much. If you're playing mid, it's different. But if you're playing top, it's gonna be basically you want to like three wave crash, and then like have the wave like bounce back to your side and then like just look to freeze because once the wave's on your side, like you probably realize once the wave is here, you can just like kill him whenever. So if you're trying to slow push three waves, obviously you don't want to kill too many creeps, but you also want to kill enough creeps that you can get like level 2 and stuff before him. So a good way to kind of slow it down but is actually to like kill range creeps. So like here when he's not even in lane, what I'd probably be doing is like rather than autoing the melee, I'd actually auto this range creep. And that way like if he comes up, you can maybe even like queue the melees and then queue onto him or something like that. And also it's gonna push like a little bit slower. Yeah, because I think here it would be real nice if you could like Q and then like this one we're already low Q onto it and then just like Q and fight him at level 1 because I think if you have like 4 stacks, especially if you have bone plating, you should be able to win at level 1. But here it's like there's not much point starting Q if you're not going to do anything with it anyway, you know? This is kind of just
Hey, sorry, I just had a full-on disconnect. Um, I think it should be fine again, but let's maybe you were just talking about killing the ranged
oh
creeps.
yeah, okay. So I was just saying like um yeah, like you want to try kill this range creep because your like main goal is to like have it push back to you, right? And so you want this to crash, but you don't want it to crash too quickly. So what I would probably do is like start hitting this range creep, and then what you can probably do is queue a couple of these creeps and then queue onto it. There's also like not much point. Like okay, if you're starting Q, it's so you can be like aggressive at level 1, right? But
Yeah.
if you can't like find a way to be aggressive at level 1, then it's probably better to start E and let it freeze towards your way. Now I don't think that's actually the best thing to do, but if you're not going to use Q, that's like what you would do. So
Yeah, true.
yeah, like this is kind of like not really like what you want in my opinion. Like yeah, if you're gonna trade like this, then yeah, bone plating doesn't make a lot of sense. But I think it's way better to say, let's say this creep goes down like 20% health, and then you just leave it, and then this guy walks up, and you just like get like three, like one, two, three, and then queue onto him for 4 stacks, and then you just fight him. Like you should win.
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah, I think it's just like too much. I guess it's like yeah, you just like don't prep the creeps right, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess I just don't like using a lot of mana on my early queues because they'll just usually back away and not even let me jump on them. in
Yeah.
the first place, and then I just wasted a lot of mana.
Yeah, I think if you got biscuits, it should be fine. And also,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know. I think it should be enough. Now, pretty sure you can kill it. Actually, no, I'm 100% sure you can kill this guy. So, let's see. When this guy queues onto you,
Mm.
yeah, I think pretty much if you just hit the stun, like he's dead. But obviously it misses, so it's fine. Get onto him. I think you could have queued. Oh, would it be? Okay, so yeah, it's tough because your E ended up pretty bad. Like I think if this E hits him, you can go on him, and if the E misses but
Yeah.
hits that like extra creep there, then that gives you two more
Mm.
creeps to queue onto. But it was like, yeah, it didn't hit the creep and it didn't hit him, so it's pretty rough. But this is
Yeah, but
like
like I still
kind of
got a
good.
full stack trade on him
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I think you can kill this guy here. So if you even if you miss everything, when you go on someone like this, you normally want to ignite them early to get rid of
Mm.
like any healing that they have, like from their health potion or
Yeah.
whatever. And you also want to pop your potion early because if you're gonna like chase them all the way under their tower, like you're gonna need the health. So
Mm.
here, I think if you ignite early, because he is healing from health potion, like you can see the green stuff on him.
Yeah.
And if you have like a little bit of extra health, yeah, okay. So like even if you
He
just
just kind of
ignited
killed.
early, you would have killed here. That would have
Yeah.
been really good. And honestly, now you're in a pretty tough spot actually because you've you haven't managed to get the kill, but you've also pushed like a bit too fast, and now your wave is like kind of like stuck outside his tower. Like it's if it's further back here, then it's easy for you to crash this wave, and if it's all the way under, then at least it's gonna push back out. But when it's here, it's like really okay. So you just
That
clock
was
that.
just super troll bench,
Yeah, I think
obviously.
I think what you would do here, actually, probably what I would do is you've killed more creeps than him, right? So I think you're gonna hit level 3 first. What I'd probably do is just like pop both my potions, like pop biscuit and health pot, and like as soon as you get level 3 and W, you can probably just like you kind of need to get
I
his
can,
W first. Like if you can manage to
yeah,
get his W without dying, then you can probably dive him after. But yeah, so now you're
yeah,
in like a
that's
really rough spot. So I'd say like um I guess like micro stuff is ignite early, make sure to pot early in trades, but I think also maybe like auto ranged creep level 1. Maybe we can look at a like Irelia versus Yone bot after and see what people do because
yeah. Mm,
I think that's what they would do, but could be wrong.
yeah.
And then
I mean,
like
I
there you
look at
go.
a lot of VODs, and I just feel like that with Irelia, I feel like everyone does their own thing really, and I can't really see a nice pattern because I feel like every Irelia player does something different.
Hmm. Yeah, I can kind of see that. It's definitely like it's a very
Because there are also
unique
many
champ.
options, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
there are.
you can also outplay so much.
Okay.
But yeah, the tower dive, I'm just kind of struggling with trying to kill them in the tower dive so I can like deny them the CS and then I just
Yeah.
kind of end myself.
Yeah, this is like pretty rough because you like Irelia should pretty much always have a better first base than your opponent because you're just like way stronger. So if you like
Yeah.
end up in this situation, it kind of sucks. But I mean, you've still got a really good wave, so like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is good. So let's
Here I
see.
was like I can stop his back. Is that like good or bad?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this. Like you've got Sedge
But then I
pathing
just
to. Yeah, okay. I think
then I ran
stopping
back
this one
to
is
like
bad. Like you don't want to
yeah.
take too much health for it, and you've already got like the really good wave, so.
Mm.
But I mean, it's fine. Like
No,
you've got a lot of sustain.
and now I'm not sure how far I should thin up the wave.
Yeah, I think like if possible, you just want to keep it here as long as you can because Sedge is like nearby. So as much as you can thin this wave, you probably should. It's just like, is he gonna let you really? Because you don't really have any stacks. Yeah, you probably just have to like let it. Or although you could probably
Yeah.
hold. Yeah, okay, actually that sort of works out. You still got two biscuits.
And like, do I just stay here and slow push if he went back
I think if
immediately? Would
he
I
he if
just
he like
recall as
bases
well?
if he bases and TPs, I think you just pop both your biscuits and just like hold the freeze here. At least until Sejuani's gone. Because like while Sedge is here,
Mm.
you just like always want to be setting up the gank. Okay, get on this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to kill. Okay, here though, like here you do need to base pretty much as quickly as possible. Like thin out a couple of them, so that the wave doesn't crash. Like you still want it to be frozen. Like maybe just like Q like a couple of these creeps, or even just like kill the cannon. But like right now, for
Yeah.
example, you have to base, and the reason is that so like I assume he has TP. I'm actually not sure, but even
I think he has Ignite.
okay, if he has
Not for
Ignite,
sure though.
it's like either you fast push this and crash it, or you base with the
Mm.
freeze, but you can't really stay on the map here because you just have like 2 kills worth of gold. You know, this is 2.5 kills worth of gold. And you're like pretty low mana. So you can't really like afford to stay. So it's
Yeah, I'm
either
like really
yeah.
indecisive here because like I wanted to back and then I got interrupted and then I was like, yeah, I'm definitely taking this cannon now.
Yeah.
And I think I just stay for the slow push now, which is like
Yeah, now
not
you
great.
probably are better off letting it crash, honestly, and just like trying to
Mm.
like kill it and base. Because I think, okay, just as like a general rule, so general rule, if your opponent like bases and you don't, like you're at a disadvantage because it's like they've spent gold and you haven't. So in
Mm.
just like before, when Yone was like still in the lane, like this, you know, it is fine to stay. If and especially after you get a kill to where you have like more gold, you really want to base because like right now you actually should be stronger than Yone. Like you've got Ignite and you've got a kill now, so you should be stronger. But if you stay here, it's gonna allow him to kind of like fix the lane, even though he shouldn't. Like yeah, as soon as he comes
Yeah.
back, you can't really do much. And also Twitch is top. Okay.
Yeah. I actually didn't even see him on the minimap.
Yeah.
Also, even if I see people on the minimap, I oftentimes don't respect because I play Irelia because I'm like, yeah, I can potentially outplay it,
Yeah. A lot of
which
the time you
is
can
true in theory,
1v2.
but I'm not good enough for it. But like limit testing is pretty nice as well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't like hate going for it, and I think if you played it a little better, you can probably win it. Like I think,
Yeah, if I get
let's
both
see.
stands off and just focus Yone because he's getting targeted by the tower.
Yeah, I think
But like
also if you
I
just
try not to do that
ignite
much
Yone,
damage.
right?
Yeah, I just ignite him and then I kill both of them actually.
Yeah,
But like I oftentimes see those misplays. It's just really rough when you're right in the moment and have
yeah,
to act
yeah,
immediately. Especially on such a fast-paced champ.
yeah. Okay, so I think that's kind of like, yeah, again, I guess it's another micro thing, but I would just say the bigger problem was that you didn't base because, you know, like let's just say for whatever reason, like you ended up fighting these two guys, but this time you're like full health and you've spent
Mm.
where you've got like Vamp Scepter, like you would just kill them even if you were bad, you know, like you could just kill them with auto attacks probably. Also,
Yeah.
I think you maybe could have made use of like, let's see, maybe see, where did you use W? I'm thinking like,
Yeah, if I W all the ranged
yeah,
creeps,
I'm thinking
then
like maybe it's
destroy
better
my
to just
hero a
like
ton.
W here and then just like Q
Mm.
onto Yone to begin with.
Yeah.
Because like,
Although I don't have infinite mana. Although
yeah,
I
oh,
have
that's true,
biscuit,
but you do have
so
a biscuit, so like you could,
yeah. So it should be sufficient.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of potential for outplays.
Okay, so you're back. Honestly, you can still beat Yone. Like, Irelia is so strong. It doesn't,
Yeah,
even if you fall
totally.
behind, it's still very
And I
easily get
also will
kills.
win the lane in the end, so
Okay, so this is kind of like, I would say a bit of a Irelia versus Yone specific thing. So the thing is, Yone will always like have to either Q forward or E forward, and that gives you like a really easy time to just hit him with E, right? So
mm,
if you just like use E randomly, like it can be fine as long as you're like very willing to follow up in the trade. Like right here, I think this E is maybe not that great because even if this hits, it's like you're only going to be fighting him with like 2 stacks, you know? So what I
yeah.
would probably do is like I would hold your E until I get 4 stacks, so maybe just like yeah, Q both of these and then start looking for an E.
Yeah, I mean the
Because like
plan here is
there you
to
go.
hit the E, jump on him, W the him and the ranged creeps, double Q on the ranged creeps, be full stacks, and then I can run him down the lane.
Okay, yeah, I mean I guess I can
I
see
just feel
that.
like it's kind of nice when you do that because they don't
I guess I don't
anticipate it as
expect it.
much.
You might also just like want to
Yeah,
wait for level 6 because like if you have 6
yeah,
here, you probably just kill him.
yeah.
Yeah,
Playing
because
it
you're like
down to two
1 creep
levels.
off. Actually, you probably just can if you just like queue all these creeps and get level 6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay.
realized there as well. And
Oh
I mean,
my
I should have
god.
died here, but he missed his ult, so
I mean, you can like flash this ult, right? In time, I think.
yeah, I
Like, let's
could,
see.
but like my reaction time is not great.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
actually you were CC'd. Maybe you wouldn't have time.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, if he had hit that ult, I would probably just die and lose the lane completely.
Yeah, I think you can also, like, probably... Yeah, I think if you, like, Q all those creeps really quick, and then... Yeah, maybe you want to flash his, like, Q3 here. Like, maybe you flash
Yeah, like,
this. Like, even
I
if you
just,
just, like, flash up.
yeah, I'm just having a rough time to, like, because I can't react to it, so I have to know when the timing is.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean, I
having a
think
rough
it's
time
just,
doing
like,
that in the middle of the fight.
you need to have, like, a better idea of, like, how you want to play the fight before it starts.
Mm,
Like, try,
yeah.
like, plan the skirmish in advance, sort of. Because, like, you can be like, okay, your tools are that you have, like, a million dashes, and you have flash, and you know that, like, Yone needs to hit Q3, and he needs to hit ult. So you should be, like, thinking of ways before the fight starts to dodge them. Like, I think you can say, like, before this fight starts, okay, I'm gonna save my flash to dodge his knock, or I'm gonna, like, make sure I have a minion to Q to in order to dodge his ult, because
Mm.
yeah, like, yeah, that could have been kind of rough. But I mean, it works out. Also think you don't need a flash.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
panicked the flash, I think. I didn't mean to.
Okay, all good, all good. So Precious Wave, take a plate and recall. Yeah, I mean you're really strong now, so that's nice.
By the way, if there's anything you can change on the video quality, it's a little pixeled for me, but maybe
Um
it's just
yeah, I'll
the
just try restart it.
the long
Yeah, it
distance
could be.
between.
Worst
Yeah,
case, like, I'm recording it, so you can, like, go back and watch it with high
yeah,
quality.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
sorry about that. That's pretty annoying.
No worries.
Okay, so we're
I
back
chose to get
in
coached by an Australian.
the... Okay, this guy's just fucking dead.
Yeah, he's just dead.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going down.
Okay, push this. Plates. Yeah, I mean, he's just fucked again, right? That was, like, real good creep usage as well. Obviously, it's, like,
Yeah.
a lot easier once you start one-shotting them, Like,
Yeah,
then you
exactly.
don't need to prepare them at all.
Yeah, that was kind of sad. I mean, I didn't really play that well, but I'm just too fed at this
Yeah,
point, so
yeah. Okay, base
like
before.
ideally I actually have like I also played against a Camille today and had like a couple of 1v1s, and I just like I know that I had to play around her E, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time it's the same thing as with Yone ult. I just don't have it in my head until it actually happens.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm way too reactive on the important abilities and don't like anticipate them. That's was actually really hard though.
Yeah, it's probably like a habit you should try and build, because I think that, like, obviously you can react to them, but I think that most, like, really good players kind of just, like, know what they want to do before it happens, because it is just way harder to react to stuff than to, like, expect it and just play around it. I guess we get tower. I mean, yeah, we're insanely fed, so it's pretty great. Take blue.
Here I'm not really sure whether I'm supposed to roam to the mid lane or keep pushing, because I have this a lot of times where everyone's just kind of ARAMing and running it down the mid lane, and I can get CS in the top lane, I can start working on the tower, and if I roam I might be able to like get a triple kill or something, so I'm like really indecisive about what's the right call here.
I think that you probably push the wave under tower and then look to roam, because, like, yeah, you're really strong here. Like, you have everything. You have flash, ult, ignite. So you've got, like, everything you need. And also, I think because it's not a cannon, you can't, like, get a ton of damage on the tower, right? Like, this is 2 creeps,
Yeah.
and then this isn't a cannon either, right? Oh no, it is a cannon. Okay, so you can potentially get something here, but I think probably what I would do is, okay, if this wave of yours here was a cannon wave, you can probably stay. But I think, like, after you push this wave, you should just run mid, because it's like the next time you
Yeah.
can hit this tower is probably, like, still, like, a fair amount of time away. Like, you have a lot of time here to just, like, do whatever you want. And instead it's, you get 2 autos on the tower, which, I mean, it's irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. And then you come and sit
Yeah.
here for another like 5 seconds. Yeah, now what the good thing is that at least you like committed to what you're doing. But I think you could
Mm,
probably go mid there. Or honestly, you could even like take more camps. Like rather than just sitting here, look Scuttle Crab and then mid, or look Scuttle Crab and then Wolves. Just like standing in a
yeah.
bush like this is pretty low pressure. Doesn't really do much.
Yeah, I just guess my biggest fear is roaming mid and then the fight is already over. And then I
Yeah.
just wasted so much time.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if you want to be selfish, there's like better ways of being selfish. I think like Look Wolves or Look Scuttle Crab are both good options. But I think, and honestly, if you go mid and the fight's already over, you can like farm mid a lot of the time. So I think it's pretty much always going to be good for you there.
I guess the question would also be whether like split pushing is actually a valid like win condition. Because I feel like if I do the camp, I just don't pressure the enemy team as much necessarily.
Hmm.
But if I actually split push, I can like the next thing I can work on is their inhibited turret, and that's like obviously higher pressure than just tier 2 turrets.
Yeah, I
So
would say that pressuring like the side lane inhib turrets is not normally that good because Irelia is like quite gankable compared to say like Fiora or Jax or Camille, like one of the ones that have like really long escapes. Like normally as Irelia, the reason you're taking tier 2s is just because they give you a shit ton of gold. And that way, like whenever you fight dragons, you're just gonna be like insanely fed. So like I think up to this point, like it's still pretty good, right? Like you're really really fed, but now I would definitely make sure that you're at these dragon fights,
yeah,
and you should not stay on the map here. So like not only obviously having like 3,000 gold is a pretty good reason on its own to base, but also you can't pressure. No ult, no flash, no ignite. Like if you're roaming mid now, but you didn't roam mid before when you had all your cooldowns up, that
yeah,
doesn't
that was
make
kind of
any sense.
was really awkward.
Yeah, because well, I mean, you probably realize, right? Like Aurelia,
Yeah,
Aurelia with like no flash ult ignite is like pretty low pressure, doesn't really do much. And as like another like general rule, you should try base if you have like I don't know, like 1,500 plus gold. You should honestly sometimes base earlier, but if you have this much, like you need to
yeah,
find a base kind of soon, right? And like here, I think it's probably fine to stay because you don't want to base while everyone's fighting. Because like you said, you
yeah.
wanna pressure. So that makes sense. But after you kill this guy and get the tower, I think right now you just instantly base. So you start your base at like 12:30, and so that means you're probably mid about now. Like you're in the same spot that you are here. Um, or like you could go back top and just keep pushing, but then like come across for this drag.
Mm,
Yeah, Wiz End looks OP versus Evelyn and Talia.
definitely. Also did so much damage.
Okay, yeah, I think this is good. So what I'd probably do here is just like shove one more wave top and then like walk across the map to make sure you're at the dragon fight. So yeah, like I actually don't think you really have time to do the scuttle here because, well, maybe you do. The problem is like
I
you
mean,
want to be here in time, but you also like want to shove this wave in. So let's just see what happens.
yeah, I feel like I'm just definitely taking way too much time in the side lane and in the jungle because I'm like, I really need to get all of the CS I can. My CS per minute has to be as high as possible, and I can't waste time.
Yeah, okay. So this is
And like, here my team's kind of backing off, I guess.
yeah, I would say honestly, yeah, this is pretty annoying. I would say okay, so the thing is when your team like randomly fights and dies mid, it's not your fault, but at the same time, you can't really expect your team to not fight and die mid, you know what I mean? Especially when Dragon is kind of soon. So like what I would say is you want to like try be like grouped for drag around I want to say like 45 seconds before the drag spawns because that way you're able to like you're able to kind of control the area, right? And just like make sure that you have it all. So like if you want to set that up, you can base sometime between like 1:30 and 1 minute, I guess 1:30 to like 1 minute before the drag spawns just to make sure like you're there in time. Or if you want to stay on the map, just like push out the waves more, because like let's see what happens here. So like right now you have 2 minutes. So if you probably like if you base and run straight top, you should have time to push out like another wave and then like walk across to mid. But it's like, okay. So now we base 2 minutes or 1:45. We probably still have time if you walk straight here and then walk mid. But it's like, okay, we did Krugs. Now we only have 1:20 left. So we really need to be thinking about getting there. Now we've done Scuttle Crab and we've got 55 seconds left. Honestly, maybe now, because you've decided to do the camps, maybe now you just group mid. But it's like you've decided to do like literally everything. Like, yeah, see how it's like 40 seconds before? Like, you should probably be grouped by now, or at least like nearby, you know? Like, if you're where Sedge is right now, I think that'd probably be fine. But yeah, you're like really far away, and I don't think there is really anything good to trade for it. Like, you can't really take this, or maybe you can if no one bases. It's gonna take you a while
Well,
though.
we'll see that I'm gonna stay here quite a while, and
Okay, I mean,
I mean, I
again,
shouldn't
it's
really
like,
get this kill, but
yeah, it's definitely. I'm glad at least you commit to it, but I do think like it's your chance to like carry fights and get dragged. And just like the way solo queue normally goes is you can kind of think of it as all the rest of the game is just getting gold to make sure you're as strong as possible for the dragon fights. Because solo queue pretty much just always comes down to some like 5v5 at dragon or baron. So dragons slash barons are super important in solo queue. Like rest of the game is just like making that easier, pretty much. Just like if you come to it
yeah,
with more gold, like obviously it's easier to fight. And
I guess
I mean,
that's
oh, you go.
I guess that's also why I was wondering whether split pushing is an actual win condition, or if it's just nice but not really valid to go mainly for split pushing to actually win the game.
Yeah, I think it's
Like,
it's like more valid if you have TP, right? Like you'll see
mm,
champs like Jax, Camille, Fiora, who like they will hard pressure the side lane and then they can just like TP into the fight and clean it up. Or they might like even like come to Dragon and then TP away and like take something off the back of it. But I'd say it's pretty rare that the game comes down to just like a pure like split pusher, or sometimes you might have someone that like needs to be answered by like 2 or 3 people but then can still get away, because like the problem with Irelia, right, is if they send 2 or 3 people you can't really get away, you just have to fight them. And so that means like you actually create less pressure than if you can like bring them and run away, because if you bring 3 people to Camille, like she can normally just E away and then she just goes straight back to split pushing, right? But
yeah,
Irelia can't really do that. Like I think Irelia was definitely more of a team fighting bruiser than a than like a hard split pusher. Okay, this guy just didn't E. Wait,
yeah.
what? He just doesn't have E or what?
I'm not sure what he's doing.
Okay, anyway. So, okay, I mean we are kind of going crazy.
Mm.
Yeah,
Like again, both of these kills shouldn't really have happened because like
yeah,
Ezreal just should have eaten, Twitch just should have flashed my ult, so it turned out relatively well, but like I mean I made a lot of space for my team, I
yeah.
guess.
Okay, I mean it's kind of amazing that this actually worked. I think like what probably should
Yeah.
happen is like, yeah, well, I think you're right. Like Ezreal can E and then it's like hard to kill him.
Yeah, like Ezreal Twitch just should kill me and I don't get anything.
Yeah, I mean, hey, at least you got the drag, so it
Mm.
actually it sort of worked out, but I think it was pretty like risky.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so I think at this point of the game, I would probably it's annoying. Yeah, like I think you want to be bot, maybe. Actually, no, actually you probably do want to be top because like Herald's gonna be next, so you can like make sure you're at that fight.
I mean I also saw that no one's responding to Talia, so
Yeah, yeah, Jinx is
but
still
like the
bot.
tower's gone anyways. Here I'm just hard trolling again. It's just some moments that I have where I'm like in god mode and think that I can just
Yeah, I honestly
fight
think this is
people
like
on my
kind
own.
of the same thing as before, where you're not really like looking at your cooldowns, because this is like
Mm,
you just use like a million cooldowns top.
yeah.
Um, I guess you ignited an ultimate. I can't remember, but anyway, it's like right here, no flash, no ignite, no ult. If you just wait like 10 seconds for flash and maybe like 40 seconds for ult, you probably can like 1v2, 1v3. But here you just don't really have a
Mm.
way of actually like getting on people.
Yeah, I just don't really respect my ult enough, I think.
Yeah.
Like, and now
Ooh.
I'm just wasting my
Yeah, and you
flash.
flash. That's like real
I'm kind
bad.
of,
Yeah.
yeah, I just felt like frustrated, I think, because just 3 people showed up and I was just kind of thinking I'm gonna kill Talia on my own here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it happens, it's just not great.
I think also like if you just another kind of thing that's pretty useful in mid game is to try track your teammates, because if you just like pause this game and look to where your teammates are, like Annie is dead and Jinx is coming out of base, so at best anything you fight here is like a 3v5, and it's like
Yeah.
probably even worse than that because Sona's like really far away too, so it's just like not really your time to pressure. If anything here, you can just go back to Krugs and then go back to
Yeah.
pressuring because you really want to try use. You want to like, I guess you want to like farm camps like when you can't pressure rather than when you can. Because if you're ever farming camps when you can pressure, that's like sort of just not the best. Kind of like, when you were pressuring top tower, it wouldn't make sense to just like have a cannon wave at the tower and then like randomly do the wolves. But here you can't
Mm,
really pressure it, so you might as well just do Krugs.
yeah.
Okay, so you're back up, back top. Okay, so you're pressuring in heavy. I think you can get that. That's nice.
Yeah, and just get out for free.
Okay, so Drag's in like a minute 30. Kind of sucks that you won't have flash for Dragon, but
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of before I just died to all of them, like where I'm just walking around randomly in the jungle like 20 seconds ago. I'm not really sure whether I should just go back immediately. Like, I
um
should go back because actually
yeah,
I can just
I
like
think
bot
so. It's
jungle,
like,
so
yeah, this wave is so far away and it's gonna push
yeah.
on its own. I think like you either because like yeah, I would just be paying like a lot of attention to the dragon timing. So it's either if you want to be like as safe as possible, you just base right now and just like walk with your team to drag, or you can like maybe have time to do one camp before dragon. Although I'm not sure the gold actually makes a difference because you've already got 1100
Yeah,
here.
no, it
So
doesn't.
you
I have
probably
enough for my
just
power spike.
yeah, I think you just I
I'm
guess
just
you
kind of
just like
wasting a lot of time
base.
here.
Yeah, like all this time walking around. If you don't like
Just
farm
don't,
anything, is kind of just
yeah,
like
I
a
just don't
waste.
really like the feeling of being off the map, I guess.
Yeah.
Also waste my ult here.
Yeah, this is like real rough because I think this should be another fight that even though you guys are behind, it's like you can probably win if you have flash ult. But the problem is you wasted flash before and now you've wasted ult. And I think now, Dragon's in 30. If you guys can somehow delay it by like 20 seconds, maybe with the top wave, then you can probably fight it. But okay, yeah, Talia's top. I think you can probably delay it.
Yeah, here I'm actually face checking. I don't know if it's
I think it's
correct or not.
okay. Like you see Talia top, like after you clear this wave, maybe you should like wait a bit, like wait for your team to come. Like I think face
Yeah.
checking just now is a bit greedy, but like you see Talia top, you see Yone bot. If you just like wait here for your team to get a bit closer, and like also
Mm.
Evelyn Twitch just showed then, I think it could have been safe. You just like went a bit too early. Okay.
Here's actually also, I think I could have gotten him barely. I'm not sure.
Maybe I'm not sure you can.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
mean, I
reach
couldn't
him?
have killed him. I just could
Yeah,
have TP'd
no.
him, I think. But
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah, maybe Jinx gets like one more auto. I'm not sure to kill him though.
no, probably not.
Okay.
I mean, Yone is just kind of inting this
Yeah.
one.
You have flash and ult in 15 seconds, so yeah, okay, you're almost like 1v9. I mean, you're 1v9 anyway. Right here, by the way, you just spam ping Baron. So
Mm,
there's like another like really OP rule. It's like if you ever kill like 2+ people after 20 minutes, just Baron. Especially if
especially
one
if
of
it's
them is
jungle,
like the
right?
jungler, yeah. Because
Yeah.
honestly, sometimes you can do it with just one person dead. But here it's like, okay, both their mid and jungler's dead, and you do like a lot of DPS to Baron, you have a tank, you have someone with sustain. This is like the easiest Baron ever. And if you get Baron,
Mm,
the game's probably just over because there's like so many towers to take, there's so much gold. But yeah, not taking it kind of just like leaves it up, and it's also, ooh, yeah, like going Baron now, it's like possibly you can, yeah, I think you can probably still get it, But it's like, if you're willing to risk it now, you should have just gone it a long time ago, you know?
Yeah. We also waste a lot of time after the dragon in the mid lane.
Okay, flash, ult.
Like when I just use everything to get one kill, is it like actually worth it?
Yeah, I'm not sure because like
When I'm the carry
if
especially.
this kill allows you to get Baron, I would say it's probably worth it. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I think it probably is worth it just because like you should be able to get Baron off this. But at the same time, you do have to now realize that like you're kind of weak for the next 4 minutes. But if you guys just like do Baron, which you do, yeah, okay. I mean, I think it's worth it, but yeah, be careful. You know, like if you flash kill this Talia like 5 minutes ago and you don't get Baron off it, I think it would be pretty bad. But this one's worth it. Actually, she has shutdown too, so yeah, no, it's pretty worth.
Yeah.
It.
It was like pretty max range flash R though, so it
Yeah.
was kind of risky.
So I think here, another thing is like, well, one, we've got a lot of gold again, so we should be looking to base, but you kind of want to sync pressure with your team. So if your whole team is like backing off, it makes it really hard for you to pressure the map, right? Because, well, you have to be safe. Like right here, Sona's recalling and he's dead, and these two kind of want to like, looks like Jinx is, yeah, Jinx is like 1 HP. So pressuring this tower is, I would say, kind of bad because it's like, okay, if you stay on the map here, then at some point you still have to find a base, but your team is going to be ready to pressure and you're going to be in base. You know, it's much better to just like, okay, my team is backing off and I have 2,000 gold. Just base now and then be ready to pressure the map with all your gold. So this is like, yeah, try sync pressure with team. Again, like basing after Baron is normally good because you get to spend all your gold and come back on the map as strong as possible. Because I don't know how many times I've seen this game, you coming out and fighting with like, you know, like 5 kills worth of gold. Yeah, okay. So here it's like now your team like all wants to pressure, so you kind of have to stay. But you have 2,200 gold, so like you really don't want to stay. But yeah, you like
I
sort of
guess I
have
just
to.
was a bit confused that they didn't recall immediately, but did some camps first. So I was
Yeah,
like,
I
okay,
mean,
we're staying in the
honestly,
map.
if you like just watch Jinx, like maybe you can do this wave and then base with Jinx. You know, I would just be like watching Jinx because like she's the main one, right? Like she's your ADC. So like
Yeah,
right now when Jinx starts your base,
yeah,
you
true.
probably need to start your base as well, or even kill this wave and then base. Like if you killed this wave right now and based, like sure you might be a little late, but you're still gonna be here mostly in time with all your gold spent. But by the time it's like here and they are like ready to fight and you just have 2,300 gold, it's like, you know, you could just spend this and suddenly you don't even need to play well. You just kill them.
Played that kind of horribly. I mean, it did end up working, but I still died because I jumped into an avalanche.
Yeah. I think this is like here you should kind of realize that you're not really like it's them that's on the timer, like not you. If you look at the map, right, they're gonna have to answer this top wave eventually, and you're just like sieging with Baron minions. So you don't really need to like fast play this, I suppose. You know, you can like chill out a bit and just wait. I mean, it does end up going well. I mean, yeah, like you have good engage tools, so I guess it's fine. Also, again, though, you know, like you definitely live here if you've spent this gold. And then even if you do something like this. Okay, so you got more. They die on the way out, but it's fine. Okay, so here, like dragons in a minute, you're gonna have flash ult for it, so you're gonna be insanely strong. And you're level 16. Okay, and you have a flank. Yeah, I think you can get this wave and then come. It looks good. You're as strong as possible here. Like this is way better. This fight, by the way, like you've spent all your gold and you have flash ult ignite. So you're just like so strong compared to the other ones. Okay, yeah, I mean, you just get it. Then you come have a fight. Okay, it's fine. You got the flash. Ooh, that was unlucky, but it's fine. I mean, you have like GA, right? You can... Oh, wait, no, you have more. You're still
Yeah, I
fine.
thought that.
Ooh.
I mean,
Yeah.
just
I think here, I probably wouldn't go back in because, like, again,
yeah,
even
that's
if you
okay.
get something here, you give up your insane flash ult timing next fight, you
Yeah.
know? Like, right here, I think you just, like, back off, and you'll have all your cooldowns again in 1 minute. You'll have ult, you'll have more, but if you commit flash to this, it's like, okay, now you're back to being weak for the next 4 minutes, and it's like, for something that basically just
It's
isn't
terrible.
really worth it. Like, I'm thinking, if you kill one of these guys, I'm not sure it does anything because they still have enough wave
Yeah.
clear that you can't really siege without Baron. So I think it just like doesn't really matter. I guess like yeah, another big feedback would just be to value your flash cooldown like a lot
Mm,
higher than you do. 'Cause
yeah.
it's like insane on Irelia, and if you don't have it for fights, it's really tough. Like you pretty much always want to flash ult or like
Mm.
flash stun or flash Q whatever. Okay, your team ended up winning without you, so that's Pog. Now you guys get Baron, I guess. Although you don't have flash. Okay, so when you don't have flash, you really need to try find a flank, like sit in a bush or something, because you're
Mm.
never going to be able to just run at people if you don't have flash. So you need to like, yeah, try find somewhere to be, to where you don't have to just like run at the enemy team. Yeah, like right here, I think what you're doing right now is pretty good. You have stopwatch, you can delay a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
Just mostly didn't really want the Evelyn to steal the bear.
Okay. Yep, this guy's fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play that well, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think it's fine, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, you can cure all these creeps, but I mean, it's fine. He's dead anyway. Let me siege. Okay, then I think oh, the inhib respawned. So troll.
Yeah, but like we still just win here, I think. Yeah, just chase him here because like doesn't really matter at this
Yeah,
point.
nice. Last hit him.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
so I'd say, I mean, there's like, we got quite a lot of stuff here from this game, but the biggest
Mm,
things to work on from that one, I would say, like, flash usage in team fights, or just like in the mid game in general, is really big. I always feel like if Irelia doesn't have flash, like when I'm versing an Irelia, right, and I know she doesn't have flash in a team fight, I feel like it's so easy to play around her. But when Irelia has
yeah.
flash, it's so hard because like she can cover so much distance with flash ult and just like slow your whole team and just kind of kill you. So yeah, the flash makes a really big difference. I think also
Mm,
throughout like the whole game, base timings are a pretty big thing. So like you really want to pay attention to stuff like your gold, like can you pressure, like what cooldowns do you have, like how soon is the next objective, um, what else? Maybe like yeah, even just like I guess it's like the same as can you pressure. Oh, let me break this into it. So like HP/mana and also like where where is your team, like that kind of stuff. Because if we talk about so like your early base timing, there was that time where your opponent based and you didn't. So now like you're just like on the map again with like a ton of gold. And the same thing
mm,
within the mid game. You were just like on the map with tons of gold, like a lot of the time. Now if you can, in theory, if you can stay on the map longer and get more gold, like that is normally better. But the problem is, if you stay on the map too long, and then that means that you have a fight and you haven't spent your gold, that's like really bad. So,
yeah.
kind of the rule I would use is like, if you're at 1500 gold plus, like you really need to find a base, basically. And if like, if dragon is like 130 away or 130, so 1 minute, just base pretty much just to like make sure you're there. And that's like another thing is like objectives. So try make sure you're at every dragon like 45 seconds before, just like yeah, to make sure that you're there. Um,
Does it also apply to Rift Herald? I'm not sure how highly I have to value
Yeah,
it.
Rift Herald. I mean, most of the time, I think you'll just be near Rift Herald anyway, because like people won't swap lanes too early in the game. Um, I would say Rift Herald. The second Rift Herald isn't as important, and you're always going to be next to the first one. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it, just because it's gonna. I feel like you're gonna be there naturally, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember from another game where I was like, I based the second Rift Herald would spawn. I would go try farm bot lane and start working on a tower. And like my team was really fed at that point. So I was like, my thought process was just, okay, I can pressure the other side of the map because my fed team can do the Rift Herald. But like, is that actually a valid point?
Yeah, I think it's valid, but also like you might need to consider maybe like you could have stayed longer, pushed out the wave, and then just based and walked Herald, because like most of the time, I don't know if we can actually let me get Rift Kit. It'll be like easier to show it. So normally it's like a better base if you can like let's say you're bot lane here and your team is like contesting the Herald. Normally it's gonna be a better base if you can like push the wave and then recall and come here and then you can like just walk back to the wave or base and go back to the wave than it is to like, push the wave here, base, push again, and then walk all the way up. Like it's much more efficient generally to be walking to the objective out of base and then
Mm,
back to the lane than it is to be, you know, like pushing, basing, pushing, and then walking because that just like takes way more time.
no.
What else we got here? I think, yeah, like really trying to like just like see what your teammates are doing and try like sync pressures. So if your whole team is in base or your whole team is like backing off, that means you also need to back off because yeah, that's just gonna mean you're the like easiest one kill. Um, Yeah, probably the Baron call as well, but it's not super big. Oh, another one I guess would be to try like plan team fights slash skirmishes before they happen. Like I think a lot of the time you can like kind of look at their champs and be like, okay, how do I want to use my flash? Or like how do I want to position or something like that. You should have kind of general ideas of how you want to do that before the fight starts. Because yeah, like when you have especially when you're playing a fast-paced champ like Irelia, if you have to think about it during the fight, it's really tough because, I mean, there will still be things you have to think about in the fight. Obviously, you can't plan like literally everything, but
No.
yeah. Um, what else? And then, yeah, I guess maybe the other thing would be, probably like the first three waves. I think, yeah, three-wave crash. Let's watch an Aurelia versus Yone VOD real quick and kind of see it. So let me just get one. Um, Aurelia versus Yone top. Okay. This one. Okay. So this is a Rel King. I think he's pretty good at Aurelia, that guy. Aurelia versus Yone.
Yeah.
So let's kind of see. So we're playing D-Blade. Yeah, so he has got bone plating. I guess we'll like see how he uses
Mm.
it. And actually, one thing I didn't think of is that unflinching might have been better, like than whatever, because you had Cosmic. Like Cosmic is nice for flash cooldown, but also in what was in your game, you were versus Talia, Evelyn, Ezreal. Can't
Which
remember what
which?
the support. Yeah, okay. So like there is a fair amount of like CC to where the tenacity could be pretty valuable. Okay.
I guess I just really like the extra mana from the biscuits. Comes in real clutch. A lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely nice. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like
He's
this.
actually attacking the range
Yeah,
buff, yeah.
because like this, I assume you just can like, Q3 of
Yeah.
these and onto him, or even Q4
Yeah,
and then
it's
go onto
actually
him.
so true. It's such a free trade actually.
Yeah, and like especially with
Yeah.
bone plating, like they actually both have it. They just like both don't take any damage there.
Mm.
Now, the only problem with this maybe is you should be really careful how fast you push because, okay, so if you can't get three waves under, you probably need to push this as quick as possible. Um, and if you can get three waves under, then you want to push that as slow as possible. But what you really don't want is the wave to kind of freeze outside his tower. And I
Mm.
think, like, let's see. Like, I think he probably needs to push a tiny bit quicker. But I guess he's like definitely okay. So he's like really trying for the three wave. But I think I mean, let's see. Yeah, I think this is like kind of fucked actually because the wave. This is
Yeah.
like kind of what happened to you, where it's like it's slightly too far up, and that makes it really hard to crash this wave. So you can like look to crash two as well. If you like, I think if you get a heavy trade like this at level one, and that means like the wave is pushing a lot, I'd probably just like
Mm.
fast crash this wave here. I think you just like queue all these, make sure this one goes under, because like let's see how he gets out of
Do you
this.
actually recall? Do you recall after 2 waves
Um,
already, or do you
I
just
think
stay?
you can if you want to like base and buy like a longsword or whatever and quickly come back, you can, but at the same time, you can also just like hide in the bush and they're not sure if they should push the wave or not, you know?
Mm.
But either way, like whatever you do is good pretty much.
Okay.
I'm not sure what yeah, I'm actually curious how he gets out of this because this looks pretty this looks not good. Yeah, yeah, maybe W all the creeps. Okay, yeah, I think he kind of fucked himself, to be honest.
Mm. Might just
Okay, yeah, he managed to
flash
get the
then.
kill there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
So
this
lucky.
is why you really don't want the wave to end up like this. So I think what he did level one was like really good. And then right
Mm.
here, I think you just like delete this wave, let it come back out, and then just like fight him at level three out in the open. But anyway, like he gets the kill. And okay, he's still in the position like you want to be, where the wave is pushing to you and like it can just freeze. And now there should be pretty much no way for Yone to win trades, I wouldn't think. Like as long as you fight with bone plating and like 4 stacks, I don't really see how he can win.
Also, I see that he's running TP. I'm like really unsure whether I should go TP or Ignite, especially in the top lane, because I feel like Ignite can definitely carry a lot of 1v1s.
Yeah, I think
At the same
Ignite
time,
in
I really like
like
side laning.
yeah, I think Ignite is honestly probably better until you're like relatively high elo. Because I think it's just like so easy to cheese kills and it's so good for the side lane, like just 1v1ing people. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I would stay with Ignited now for now, but I think yeah, if you get into like I don't know, like Master GM Challenger, you probably do need to run TP. Because you'll find, I guess,
Probably
that
stick
playing
more.
against people with TP becomes like quite difficult because they'll know how to like
Yeah.
not die to ignite and then just kind of like TP back to the lane. But yeah, like this is, I mean, this is perfect, right? I think you could play this situation out as well. It's like
Mm.
the wave is
Yeah.
frozen, you have an item advantage. There's like pretty much nothing to it now. You just kind of click on him and he dies. Keep the wave here. Yeah, this is really good as well. Like, if you can force the enemy jungler to come all the way up to break a freeze, that's like a giant, not like waste of his time. Like, he has to do it, but it feels like real bad for him to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then I mean, once you hit six, you can just hold it, and he's still fucked, right? And I think, yeah, like a lot of this is just from those first three levels. Like, I think if you improve those, it'll be
Mm.
just like so much easier to play it out. And yeah, maybe experiment with other runes. Yeah, with like bone plating, unflinching, or I mean, I don't hate Biscuits Cosmic, and in fact, Biscuits Cosmic might even be better with Ignite. Honestly, I'm not sure,
Mm.
but
I mean,
I
it's
guess
definitely super common at the moment.
yeah, it's worth like thinking about at least. Yeah, he just has to like come up for every creep with the Z. Yeah, that game was pretty over. Also, if you ever like crash a big wave like this, if your jungler is nearby, you should just like spam ping to dive. Because if he loses this
Okay.
wave, like the game is just like completely over for him. I don't think he can dive in
Yeah.
1v1, but if he
Mm.
had jungler with him, it would be like super nice. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so I guess that comes back to kind of like 3 or 2 wave crash. I think both are good. Just like your goal is to like get the wave, back out towards your side, and then just like run him down with the space essentially.
Mm.
Um, okay. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. But we still have a bit of extra time. Let me just copy this. We have like, oh yeah, we have probably like 5 more minutes. If you just have like any other like questions or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote some questions down which have been answered pretty much. I mean, I was just kind of wondering, like, because I'm kind of trying out whether I like top lane or mid lane, I really more.
Hmm.
Was just kind of wondering whether there's like an actual difference in what my role or what my job is in the game when I'm playing top versus mid lane? Like, what's my actual job? What do I need to do to carry the game, to win the game? Is there any difference?
No, I wouldn't really say so. I think your job is pretty much the same. I think the biggest difference though is the matchups. Like the mid lane matchups are a lot easier than the top lane matchups because, again, if you think of those top laners like Fiora, Jax, Camille, that sort of stuff, they're like built for 1v1, just like you. And so those matchups, they can be quite close. And then you've got like other stuff like Renekton, or there's even some like tanks that are very hard to kill, like Cassante or whatever. Now stuff like Yone's a mid laner mostly, so this is kind of like a mid lane matchup, but the mid lane
Mm.
matchups are way easier. Like if you're playing mid and you're versus like any assassin, like normally the assassins can't really kill you because you have your W, and you have like a ton of sustain, so they can never actually get you low enough to kill you. And then like pretty much everything else is just going to be some kind of like weak mage, like if you verse like Yasuo or Yone, like you can kill them easily. Any mage like Rise, Syndra, Victor, like you can just farm them. So I would say mid lane matchups are a lot easier to play, and I think mid lane Irelia is better. I guess maybe like the one possible weakness of playing Irelia mid is that normally when you play mid, you want to have, if you're playing an AD mid, normally you want an AP jungler because
Mm.
otherwise it's like really easy for them just to itemize armor. Now, armor is not like amazing versus Irelia, but it's still like annoying, right?
Mm.
Um, so like yeah, ideally you play with an AP jungler. Whereas like if you play top lane, normally you're gonna have an AP mid, so you don't have to worry too much about having like too much AD. But yeah, I don't know. I think overall mid lane Irelia is probably better and easier, but just play
Yeah.
whatever you want, pretty much.
Yeah, and like for the mid lane matchups, I was also wondering when I can actually, because like right now there's obviously a lot of Syndra being played,
Hmm.
and when I'm playing like Irelia versus Victor, Irelia versus Syndra, it's obviously a matchup I should stomp pretty hard, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I feel like it's kind of hard to actually punish them necessarily when they play really safe and just like stun me or knock me away when I'm diving on them. So I was like wondering how I can actually punish my good matchups in the mid lane if the enemy just plays really safe. Like also
Um,
like a castle then if I don't get a kill on him, like, and actually when I can actually expect to get a kill in lane.
yeah, normally it's like it's mostly to do with your wave control. So, let's see, can I get rid of it again? It's kind of hard to explain. Well, it's not that hard. Basically, like what you want to do is if you crash 3 waves mid, right, or like 2 waves or what, well, you have two choices. So you can either look to, if you're versus melee, you can crash the first 3 waves. So let's say you're versus Kassadin. You push these first 3 waves, it hits Kassadin's tower, and then it bounces back to you, and you freeze it here, and there's no way Kassadin can break it. And also, because you're so strong in the 2v2, it should be really scary for their jungler to come break it, because if your jungler's there, you just kill them both.
Mm.
So versus melees is really easy. If you're versus a ranged champion, you normally can't push at level 1. Like, a lot of Aurelias will either start Q, but just, like, not really use it, or start E, and then you just, like, pull the wave to here, so let's say this is, like, level 2, and then you just freeze it, because a champion like Victor or Syndra has a very hard time breaking a freeze when it's up here, and if they ever... The thing is, like, Victor W and Syndra E, well, Syndra E is 17 seconds, and I think Victor's W is, I don't know, like 15 or something. So like if
Mm.
you queue forward and they like use a stun on you, they can't walk up for like another 15 seconds. So yeah, you might want to just like watch a VOD of it, but I mean next time if we do another one, you can bring like if you play mid and you play versus one of those champs, like I can show you. But otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah, I would just like go to YouTube. Like here was, oh, this is Cinder versus Aurelia, but yeah, like you can just search this up and try find like an example of it because they're definitely very punishable.
Yeah, again, I'm also looking at a lot of matchups on OPTG and just look at random challenger players play against each other or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, that
But
works too.
then at the same time, I just oftentimes feel like some Irelias just push the wave in, some don't. It's just
Yeah, well, I
like
think
against Victor, you could also push it in
yeah,
and it would come back to you.
you can push and then let it come back to you. It's kind of like I guess like one thing I might recommend to you is watching like one player's replays, because that way you kind of get an idea of um like how they play all their matchups. Like let's say you want to well just like look this up. Like if you wanted to watch Chovy's Irelia, right? Like if you watch Chovy Irelia versus Victor, it's like this one Irelia mid versus Victor, this one Irelia mid versus Victor. There's probably like more that you can find down here. It's Irelia versus Lisa. And like so you could just like watch one player or like yeah, Irel King, so you go like Irel King. Oops. Oh, what the fuck? Irel King, Irelia versus Victor, and then we've got like this one here, we've got another one here, another one here.
Yeah.
That was the one we just watched before. So there's probably like ways you can find matchups of the same person if you wanted to as well, which can be pretty good because I know when I was like trying to learn like lots of matchups, I would like watch Rookie in each of the matchups. I was mainly watching him because I thought he was the best in lane, but like yeah, I guess it helps keep it consistent as well with like how they want to play matchups.
Yeah. True. I guess I just feel like I don't want to watch older replays because I feel like they might be outdated in a way.
I think if you watch anything from like at least like I don't know this year or last year, it should be fine. I probably wouldn't watch something that's like 3 years old, but I think if it's like 1 year old or like 10 months, I think that's completely fine. Like the build might be a little different, but it's not going to change how you like control your wave or like how you trade and stuff like that.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
Okay, well I copied this to you already. Do you want me to upload it or not?
Yeah, for sure, we can upload it.
Okay, and then yeah, I'll just send it to you after.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's everything. If you have other questions, by the way, you can just like message me on Discord or whatever.
Yeah, I'm already using that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
All right, sweet. Well, I'll send this to you later, and otherwise, yeah, good luck.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a nice day
You too.
and see you soon.
Bye bye.